All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 25 Delta Amateur Radio Club monthly board meeting. Thank you for coming, everyone. First thing, real quick, we'll just get a roll call, and then we'll get started. Perry, if you'd call the roll, please.
Yes, sir. President Joe Plunk.
Present.
Vice President Tyler Henley. Secretary Perry Hayes, I am present. Treasurer Jim Martin.
Pleased to be here.
Immediate past President Ty McMahon. Director of Programs Adam White.
Present.
Director of Meetings and Special Events Scott Adams.
Present.
Director of Publications Mike Harrison. Director of Training Joe Lowenthal.
Here.
And Club Repeater Trustee Dan Fleek. All right, we do have a quorum, Mr.
Here.
President. All right.
Trying to find that.
Someone was
find that mute button.
someone was bashful back there.
Oh, no worries. Well, Perry, thanks for calling the roll, and thanks for letting us know we have a quorum. I appreciate it. With that, I'll do a real quick. I do appreciate everybody taking the time this month and this year to participate in the board this year again. We've got a couple of new ones, and we've got a lot of returning veterans. So I appreciate your time greatly. I just want to say thank you for all of that. And that'll kind of move it out of my opening statement. We'll move into past minutes. We'll take care of that business, and we'll move through the agenda.
Right, I submitted the secretary's minutes of the December board meeting via email. I got I got one suggestion, and I noticed an error that I had made in the beginning. I said that there were 36 visitors and members in attendance. I looked back at the roll and I found I was short by 10, that there was actually 46 members and visitors present. So I amended that. I also got a suggestion to include in the minutes the fact that Joe did present to Randy the donation for the Mid-America Baptist Theological Seminary. And so I added a little paragraph at the end of my minutes about that donation being made. And those were the only changes to the minutes that were circulated by the email.
All right. Does anyone have any other concerns or needs to address for the minutes? We're a bashful bunch tonight. With that, I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes as Perry has presented them via email.
Second.
All right, so multiple motions.
Mr. Joe.
I think Mike made it and Joe seconded it, and the motion was to approve the minutes as presented by Perry. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Fantastic. All right. With that, we'll move right along into our membership renewals and applications. So, Jim, thanks for sending this along a little early. I was able to put it into the agenda so that we can kind of hopefully see everything. Are there?
Make a motion with accept
Joe's motion to accept and approve new and renewals, seconded by?
Second.
Perry has seconded the motion. So the motion is to approve and all new and renewals. Please say aye if you approve. Aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. So all of our renewals, there were all renewals this time around, are approved. We'll turn the floor over to Jim for our treasurer's report.
Okay. All right. As usual, I'll start out with the bank statement here. So we started out the month of December with a beginning balance of $20,306.97. We had $225 in deposits and credits. That is made up of one donation, 10 membership renewals, and a $5 ARRL club commission. So that's the 225. We had $200 debited from our account, and that is for our annual premium from Hanover Insurance for our club liability policy. And then we had checks totaling $5,083.58, bringing us to an ending balance of $15,248.39 there. So the checks included the $100 donation to the seminary for use of their meeting space, or use of our meeting space. $53.50 to reimburse Scott for the hams that he purchased for the club meeting. Reimbursement to Mike Harrison for the GoDaddy website renewal, an amount of $171.08. And our final check for $4,759 for the ComServe, or to ComServe, for the purchase of the DMR repeater and amplifier that Dan was taking care of for us. We are missing one check there, check 1638. Does not appear to have been cashed yet, and that was a check to Dan for the purchase of the audio board, or the repeater board for Germantown. So
The All-Star Echo Link board.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get on it.
Okay, no worries.
I need the money.
I just wanted to explain to anybody where explain where that check may be. I imagine it's stuck to the refrigerator with a magnet.
That's where my checks end up.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about our financials here before we move on to the CDs? All right, very good.
All right.
Okay, so we still have our two CDs. The one I'm sorry, which one am I looking at here? Okay, so we have one that's coming up on January 22nd. So I will have to run to the bank and take care of that within 10 days after the 22nd. I have to actually wait until the day after there. And I did check our interest rates, and the current promotional interest rates they have are a 6-month term at 4.25% APY and 16 months at 3.5%. So just as we did with the other CD where we have a 3-month term, I would be happy to do a 6-month term if everybody is in agreement. So we get that 4.25.
That's the same decision we had on the other one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So the other one was, yes. So the larger CD that we have there, the one with $11,522, that one I renewed it for just 3 months. So it will come or it'll mature on February 23rd, as you can see there on the right hand side. So that one I will, we'll address that again when that comes up and see what we want to do. But in the meantime, I would suggest that we just go with the 6-month term.
I move with the 6 month.
All right.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tyler. So the motion is to renew our small business CD ending in 8481 for a 6-month term. From that promotional, or that interest rate was 4.25, if I heard it correctly.
Correct.
Motion was made by Joe Lowenthal, seconded by Tyler.
Yeah. Now that could fluctuate a little bit between now and the 22nd, 23rd.
Sure.
But I don't suspect that it'll change much.
Sure. Thank you. All right. Motion's on the floor. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries to renew and that CD for a 6-month term. All right. At this point, are there any other questions regarding the treasurer's report? I would entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
All
Second.
right, Mike has made a motion to approve the treasurer's report, seconded by Joe Lowenthal. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, treasurer's report approved.
Thank you.
All right, we'll open the floor for just a minute. Do we have any bills from the team that needs to be presented to Jim for payment?
I received nothing in my email. So unless somebody else has something.
All right, we'll move on next to our member meeting topics. Adam, how are we doing for our January membership meeting topics?
So I'm gonna do WinLink. We had a lot of responses about WinLink on the survey, which I'll get to in a minute. And then I was gonna ask if anybody, I asked Tyler, but he won't be there, if somebody wants to talk about Winter Field Day. Or had a
You think
suggestion.
Matt might? Do you think Matt might stand up and talk about Winter Field Day, Tyler?
I don't know. We really need to nail down what we're gonna do, and I need to call Adam after this or at some point tomorrow and try and nail down exactly what we're gonna do. This was just kind of an off the cuff thing that we wanted to go out and do it, and Adam was like, "Hey, I've done it before. Let's do it." So I can talk to him and find out, but I can't guarantee.
Okay, so I think that what might be here is for now we'll pencil in that it'll be around the Winter Field Day. And Adam, if Matt doesn't want to step up, I can step up, or we can put something together around Winter Field Day. And just that, hey, we've got a couple of club members that are interested in having a group get together and participate and do Winter Field Day. And we'll kind of pitch it kind of around that. And here's what Winter Field Day is about. Here's how the activity works, and we'll make it work. So we'll do WinLink and Winter Field Day. That sound like a plan?
Yeah, I was mainly thinking just the overview, sort of like we did for Summer Field Day, because some of the rules are a little different. It doesn't have to be focused on the club activity.
Fair enough. I think we can yield a little bit of. Go ahead, Mike.
When we get finished with this topic, I got something I want to talk about before we move on.
Absolutely.
We're gonna
I was
do
gonna say
Winter Field Day at Ty's house or at Tyler's house.
I think I heard something about I heard something about McNairy County. I had to
Oh
guess.
man, Dad would love it. I don't know that everybody would love driving out there though.
Anyway, we'll figure something out and we'll have a little. And the point of it is to have a little fun. We'll talk it up, talk about what the program is and how the program works, and then try to get some activity around it.
You thinking about being outside or inside?
Therein
I think
lies
all of
the
us are
great question, because I hate the cold.
I think there is a consensus that inside is better.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of us are at the point of time where let me just sit outside in a tent with nothing and be outside for Winter Field Day.
Yeah, it was
I think
raining
the
last year.
consensus is that I think the consensus by far and away is that we'll be inside, but we'll have fun with it though.
What day is that?
25th.
January 25th. All right. What I was going to finish up, Adam, is I think we can probably yield a little bit of the Winter Field Day session time over to WinLink, so you can do a little bit more in depth with WinLink. If you need I'm pretty sure we can get a live antenna up if you want to do, and we can get some coax out through the window or something to get you in and get you a good signal in and to do a WinLink demonstration live. We can yield a little winter field day time for that, make that happen. Because I personally am very interested in seeing that because that is a new topic for me personally. So I think there's some interest there.
Yeah,
Any
super
other
interested in here.
observations? I think there's a lot of soapbox moment for just a second, so I'll caveat that. Aries is very dependent upon WinLink and use it for a lot of information. It is a great communications mechanism for standardization. And one of the biggest things is it allows us to communicate as amateur radio operators to the rest of the world, and they can communicate back to us without necessarily having to have an internet connection at the region that we're communicating out of. We get out of the region via RF and to wherever we can get to internet, and the internet gets back to us via RF. So amazing stuff. I'm excited to hear it, Adam. Thanks for putting that together. All right, Mike, you had something you wanted to jump into?
Yeah, I didn't write it down. Oh, are we doing Ham 101 now that Ham has retired? Do I need to take that off the Sparks agenda, or is there someone stepping up, or what are we going to do there?
Right now, from my perspective, I haven't heard anybody stepping in to take Ham 101. So for January, there is not a Ham 101 for January. A vision is I'd love to see that kind of evolve into like an operations 101. Here's how you operate. Here's how you would set at a station and operate, call CQ, log, and just do some things like that. But I haven't had a chance to coordinate any of that vision or thoughts with anyone yet. So right now it's just a vision. So for Spark's point of view, and for the membership, right now, January Ham 101 is we don't have a Ham 101.
I'd suggest removing it until we get plans for doing something.
Well,
all right,
that was what I was. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Thank you. Yep, got that. Got it.
All right. Dan, you want to give us a quick update on repeaters?
Hang on. Sorry, I just did something that didn't work. Kind of an emergency thing. Hang on.
All right. Well, we'll circle back around that to Dan for the repeater update. And Mike, we'll circle up now to you. We'll move into kind of new topics. You want to talk to us a little bit about what you sent out for kind of a Sparks update and the things that you were asking for since we're all together?
Yeah. So I'll get the easy stuff out of the way first. So I'd sent out an email asking for a biography update. So I've gotten a few of those. So Tyler, Mr. Joe, I know I've received yours. So thank you for sending that. If you don't have a bio, or if you want to update your bio, please do that and send it to me. I'll get that up. The second thing is in Sparks, we list the board of directors, and we have the email addresses and the phone numbers are listed there. So the question was, do you want your email changed from your personal email to the club email? And I have gotten a couple of responses on those. So if you want your email changed to the club email, please reach out and let me know that. And I guess, and then if you want to, if you feel led to contribute an article, we would love to have that. And I really enjoyed Tyler's and Joe's and Dan's articles when they send those. So if you have that, that would be great. So then,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say on the email addresses, if you want to, you can certainly entertain having both your personal and your club. That's an option I think is that as well. I don't think it necessarily has to be one or the other. If you wanted to list both, you certainly could. You could have your club
Yes.
and your personal if you wanted to do that.
Yes.
That's what I'm leaning towards that for me personally, but I haven't sent Mike the email
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, but because I've tried to change a lot of the contacts to the DARC BOD so that if someone has input from the website, it goes to all of us. So it's whatever you want, whatever's easiest. I know, some have chosen to use personal, some have chosen to use the club. So I mean, it's whatever you guys want to do. And then the last thing I just kind of wanted to I maybe freshen Sparks up a little bit. So I changed the header for the Sparks. I used kind of a different font, if you will. Made it, I feel like it stands out a little bit more. But just trying to make something fresh. And then kind of the very first header, I changed that so that it has links now, because in our email, whenever I send out the invitation for the meeting, at the bottom's kind of like a signature where we have the find us on ARL, like us on Facebook, and then subscribe to the YouTube. So I thought maybe I should put that on here so that they have an opportunity to kind of see that every month. And if they want to reach out to see our website, if they want to contact us or join one of those, they could, and it'll be, kind of there out in front of them and fresh. And then I did change up some of the headers of like the club announcements. I made it orange so that it's easier to see, and then some light blue shading and dark blue shading. So, so just trying to make a kind of a more of an impact, I guess, fresh impact to kind of just reach out there and kind of make it pop a little bit. So if anybody has any thoughts about that, if you want to return back to the old one or continue with what I've proposed, just kind of let me know.
I like what you got going on right now.
Yeah.
Thank you for
So-
putting and investing the time in it. That's what I would like to say. I mean, that wasn't a trivial amount of time.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
did some testing. So anybody else have any thoughts or opinions?
I really like it, Mike. I think it looks really good. It's kind of a fresh update. I really like the links and how you can get to different things. I think it looks really good, and I appreciate your work on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Perry. All right, I will go ahead and go with this format, starting when we send this out this weekend.
Fantastic.
Great.
Thank
I
you.
I personally would love to try to see each of the board members. It doesn't have to be a long something, but just try to throw something into Sparks. Didn't even have to be around your topic area. Just put a little, hey, I put a ham experience in there for each of us. I think it's a way to bring some personality of the board as well as some experiential environment into Sparks. It gives people a reason to read Sparks. So that's just my opinion. I'm going to try to do that a little bit as well. Maybe a second article that's about more experience, and then more of a presidential corner article. Mike,
What do you
thank
think
you.
about a review of a product? Because I bought for myself for Christmas an output meter, SWR output meter. I kind of liked it, and it brought up really reinforced with me the importance of the antenna, and how it's tuned, and what the SWR is, and what that impact is on the reflected signal versus your output signal. So I mean, would that be article worthy, or is that something that you can read online every day, 10 times a day, probably?
What does everybody think about that?
I don't think we should turn down any articles or any recommendations.
I like
I
that
think
answer.
I think it's great just to be able to read something that, you know, another club member has written. Something that we might be able to you know, talk about around or, you know, around our round table when you know, we're sitting there chit chatting in between presentations or something, you know, just a item of discussion. Hey, Mike, I really liked your article about your meter. Can I borrow it?
Exactly.
When the guard's not using it.
Yeah. All right.
Ah, there you go.
I
Mike,
think
I think
it
that's a
would be
great idea.
Mike. I think it would be great.
Sounds good. Thank
Howard,
you.
were you going to say something?
Mike, you finally getting it that the antenna is the same.
Yes. So yes, I took it over to Dave's house and Dave tested it out for me, and it is spot on. So I just didn't realize how much the antenna factors into your output, because, you know, I thought I was 50 to 60% off, and it's not. The radio's not outputting that. It's just it won't go out because of the really bad antenna.
Yep.
So,
Antenna.
seems like I've heard that before.
Before you invest in a new radio, invest in a new antenna.
Well, Pat
It's
used to
always been
say
the
that
theme.
a friend of his said if he had $500, 450 on the antenna and 50 on the equipment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. All right. Any other conversation or options or topics around Sparks and kind of Mike and that? If not, we'll move into kind of the next topic, or we'll circle. Dan, are you ready to circle back?
Yep.
All right. Mike, thanks for that update on Sparks. Thanks for the time. I look forward to not being the last person to get you his article this week. So I'm putting it out there.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it happen. All right, let's circle back around to Dan and let's get an update on our repeater, and I should say repeaters.
I haven't touched Methodist North in the last 30 days. The Digipeater is working great. The 220 is still off. So I think at least Adam and I will probably go up there. We've got a lot of repeater work to do in the next month or two. So it might be kind of the last one because we're going to replace the audio board on the 625 that I purchased. And likely we were going to swap out the spare FR3000 with the DR1X because it's a whole lot easier to get the audio level set correctly for the 625 to sound correct. And that was the recommendation of Alan and them. So I will take the 3000 over to Alan's house probably in the next week, and he'll customize and test everything at his house before we go out to Germantown. The DMR repeater I have in my possession. I do not have the software yet. I have been bogged down with a family health issue, so I haven't been able to touch it. But I think at the end of the week, I want to try to get the software for it. And I think, Joe, have you ordered have we cut the check or anything for the
No, I need to talk about that to the board, and I left that out, so I need to remember to add that. Let me make a note here because I did leave that as an agenda item. I left that off, but I'll add that and come back to that for the mobile citizen.
Okay, but
I did send some emails on that, and I got some information back on that, so I forgot about Thank you. Forgot about it. I'll make a note. We'll circle back to it.
And then that's all I've done for now. I think that I would like to add the 8.2 to All-Star and let it be linked up with during the weather nets to get better coverage for it and kind of bring the 8.2 back to weather net status. It's my thinking. And having the hot spot there for the DMR will also give us the link in for All-Star and let them link it up. For now, I would say we would only use the All-Star link for WeatherNet and not turn it into a general, hey, let's link it up to some random repeater in Alabama. So I'll probably start looking at purchasing probably about $200 to do that roughly, to get another audio board and get a Pi device. But I'll get more prices on it.
Okay. So that would actually enable the 8.2 repeater to participate in Skywarn both as an FM analog repeater and an Echolink All-Star capable node, meaning if I understand everything and how it's going to end up working, the weather digital environment that's being used by the National Weather Service here in town would circle back around and come back out the 8.2 repeater via Echolink All-Star, and also go out the new 4437 repeater. So we'd basically be able to cover all of the footprint, both FM and digital, for weather emergencies. Is that a correct understanding, Dan?
Yeah, it'll function just like the 625
Okay.
Germantown repeater. Alan and them will link it and unlink it for us. We can leave the Germantown repeater in their link list too, so that you've got pretty good coverage down to the south. But the 8.2 may just pretty much overlay it.
Okay.
When do you think the DMR
Well, that
will be
sounds.
up?
We don't have the internet ordered for it, which will take at least a couple weeks, and Joe will talk about it. I've been looking at using one of my hotspots or something to temporarily link it up until we get that in. But I want to get it up this month.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to move the 440 net to the 443-200. So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and get that moved over. I have to get the new preamble out and we'll make announcements. All right, thank you.
And will that be the backup frequency for 8.2 at this point now?
Yes.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It does have geographic diversity at that point.
Yeah.
I haven't set up any kind of antenna at the house like I should, like a real ham, but I think you should be able, with any kind of a decent outdoor antenna, hit the 3.2.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns around some of the topics that Dan talked about? I'm excited to hear that we'll have it online this month. That's exciting news. Let me take just a real quick segue for just a minute. And since it dovetails into this, I'll talk about the mobile citizen. I sent an email to all the board members, I think it was last week, saying, hey, I was going to reach out to Mobile Citizen. Mobile Citizen, if you hit mobilecitizen.org, it is a website company provider of internet services that are provided to nonprofit organizations. And with our 501c3 status and tax exempt status and all the paperwork that Jim worked really, really hard to get for us. Thank you, Jim. All of that paperwork allows us to apply for that and have no problems qualifying. I heard back from Tammy, who's with Mobile Citizen, that we have indeed qualified. She has sent us an estimate. And the way that their service works is they provide and I've got the exact estimate. I can send that out, but they bring a T-Mobile hotspot. We will use the one that has an Ethernet interface, and it's approximately $275 for the hardware. And then the service is $10 a month or $120, and they pay that up front one time once a year. So once we've acquired the hardware of $275, the service is $120 a year after that. And we're not limited to just one hotspot. So if we should need or require an additional hotspot for like VE testing or another mobile repeater location or another one of our repeater sites, we go through we don't have to go through the process again. We just call them up and say, here is the payment for the next hotspot and the monthly fee 1 year in advance, and they send us the next hotspot. We're not we could have one for as many as we wanted, as we're willing to pay for, I should probably say. So that's where that goes. It leverages the T-Mobile cellular network, 5G network. So it's pretty reliable coverage. What I would like to do is I'd like to ask our membership I'd like to basically at the membership meeting in January pass a hat for a special collection to see how much the membership would be willing to contribute towards that approximate 400 did I do the math right? I never do math. $420. I did the math approximately. To get the hardware and the yearly fee, see how much the membership would be willing to donate or cover, and then we cover the rest and get that provided to us. Mobile Citizen will take a check. It just slows the process down. They will also allow a credit card to be used, and then the member could potentially be reimbursed by the club for the credit fee. So those are what I found out about Mobile Citizen. It would really be an enabler for us at the 8.2 repeater site, both for the DMR and the 8.2 Echolink All-Star. Concerns, questions?
Yeah, we'll be able to do. We can remote load announcements to the repeater.
So what would that mean?
Well, we could load custom announcements pretty easily, like field day on Saturday, or the days
testing
that
on Tuesday.
Testing on Tuesday, or on the days that we have meeting, it'll say meeting tonight instead of net tonight. We just have a lot of flexibility, and it's done through a Unix cron job, so we can, any schedule or thing you can come up with, we can put it out there. WeatherNet tonight at 7 p.m.
Or an active weather warning.
Yeah,
would we be able to would we be able to trigger manual loads? Or do you know?
I'll have to look through some of it. I don't know how all the administration is done, but.
So the question that I'd have to put to the board is this is going to require us to enter in as an organization. It would require us to basically enter into a contract. So that we would say, yes, we agree to pay. And so far, right now, no contract has been entered. We've just done exploratory, send me a quote. We would, as a board, we'd have to agree and to enter into that contract and go forward with that. Does anyone have any thoughts or objections or reservations about entering into that contract?
It would be a standard contract that we would enter in as a individual, correct?
Basically, I can
Yeah.
get the precursor of the contract and we can take a look through it.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
going to
just
be a
year to
standard,
year,
pretty much.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And if we
Yeah,
do
it's
cancel early, we do get a refund of whatever's left. That's what Tammy said.
I like that we can just pay with once a year with a check and don't have to do any monthly billing.
Yeah.
Probably makes Jim happy.
Yes,
It's no different than the insurance
right.
or,
Yeah.
or the PO box.
Right.
Very true.
And they take a check, so.
One
Okay.
thing that we need to do is get serial numbers on the repeaters and give them to Jim for the equipment insurance.
Indeed, we do. And that is definitely on the topic list as the new ones come in and as the sites are visited and shuffled around. I know Dan's got that on his agenda. All right. With that, let me get the estimate back from Tammy. I'll circulate that to the board. I didn't hear any motion or any objection, so I think everybody's okay with that.
Yeah. I'll make a
Um,
motion that we enter into the contract. Is that the motion that you want? Or do you want?
That's a good one. That's a good one that allows us to go forward. I've got to send you the estimate, and I didn't get that circulated because Tammy was finalizing and taking the tax off of it. She didn't have our tax certificate yet, so she had to leave the tax on. But now she's got that, so she can take the tax off. So that would be a phenomenal way for us to move forward and accelerate things.
So do we need
And
the
I'll send the
estimate
estimate.
before we make the motion, or can we go ahead and is that pretty much in stone? The rate?
The rate is in stone at $120 a year. And the hotspot is, let me get you the exact amount of the hotspot because those are set in stone once you remove the tax. I apologize. Didn't think about sending that out.
Can any of this
So-
be done from our the board's discretionary fund, or do we need to put this as a line item?
We absolutely, if nobody objected, we could pull this from the discretionary fund. I would say going forward, if we approve it, that we would move it in as a budgeted line item to carry forward so that we have it budgeted in the, going forward. Let me forward this email out to everyone, but here was the estimate. So there is a $264.83 hotspot fee for the hardware. There's $120 for service. And then there is a $35 one-time activation fee for a total of $419.83.
Does that include
Is
tax or not?
That does not include tax.
Oh, okay.
So the recurring fee will be the 264 and the 120?
Negative. The recurring fee is $120 a year.
Okay, so the upfront is like the 264 is going to be a capital expense, and the 120 will be variable. Okay.
Let me forward this out to if everybody's got their email up real quick, I'll forward this out to the DARC board so you can see it. All right, so that should pop into your email and you can see the estimate. Jim, you'll see that. Perry, you'll see that. Everybody should be able to see that. It has the estimate at the bottom.
straight to my spam. No, I'm teasing.
That's the way it works these days.
I would like to let everybody know that that I have gotten a couple of emails from somebody posing as our president asking for the balance of our account. It did go to the spam, and so I've alerted Google to let them know that those are not to be forwarded or anything. So I have reported
Thank you, sir.
them. But just want everybody to be vigilant about your emails, because that
The
happens from time to
cyber
time.
criminals don't let up. The
Yeah.
cyber criminals never let up. All right, did everybody get a chance to get that?
Well, it's a whole bunch of the estimate looks like some kind of language, some kind of programming language.
Oh, yeah, it's an HTML file that she sent. I'm sorry.
I got it.
Okay.
Do I download it then, or? Okay, there we go. Got it.
Yeesh.
Looks good.
Yep.
All right, so that's the estimate. There's no tax on that estimate.
And this is going to be located at the 8-2. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And
Yep.
if you're interested, that hotspot does support external antennas. So if we needed to go punch an antenna out to the outside world, we could get outside the building.
So you want a motion to accept this and to enter into a 1-year contract?
That would allow us to move forward. Yes.
Okay. So I make a motion that we enter into a 1-year contract for the 41983.
All right, Mike has made a motion to enter into a contract with Mobile Citizen to move forward for a hotspot and 1 year of service. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Adam. All right, so the motion on the floor, made and seconded, is to engage with Mobile Citizen for a T-Mobile hotspot 5G for 416
1983.
419.83 with a recurring charge of $120 per year on an annual basis. Made by Mike and seconded by Adam. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Fantastic. I will let Tammy know that tomorrow, so that she can get the invoice and I can get the mailing address, and we'll get a check on the way, or figure out what the fastest way to get that done so we can get that and not be the holdup. Thank you, everyone. And I will, just as an aside, because I do think the membership is active about this and interested in this, ask if the membership would like to make a special purpose contribution to affray or offset the cost that we have for that hotspot. If they are so inclined, no pressure, but I will at least ask at the membership meeting. All
So
right.
if you do make that, are we
apologize for
gonna?
that.
I'm sorry. If we do make
No, go
those
ahead.
contributions, so if we do ask for that, are we going to put that into like some kind of a special fund then to go towards that, or
Right.
how?
If they do contribute to the hat for that, it would be dedicated to that fee, and we would just offset. That would be a special purpose contribution for that expense. A lot of organizations do that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Or I could just, if I ask and say, hey, if you do you mind if this is going into the general fund, then that contribution could be gone into the general fund and we can use it for whatever we want to use it for. Does the board have a preference on how that question should be formed or asked to the membership?
I think that we should say that, it will be applied toward the 41983, and if there's an excess, it will go into the general fund.
Okay. Excellent way of saying that, Mike. So noted.
All right, so do we want to have a separate line item then on the budget for internet access and or hotspot internet access?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think so. What is everyone else?
Yeah, I think, well, should we put it into this year's budget? I mean, we're gonna talk about the budget this year, so can we go ahead and enter that line item into the proposed budget and then be done with it?
Yeah. It just
So, for
reoccurring
this year-
expense
Yeah,
to
so
be
this
taken
for
care
this
of by
year it'll be
treasurer.
the $420 or whatever, and then going forward it'd be the $120.
Right.
Right. So the budget item would be, and that, Mike, to your point, I mean, if we wanted to do that, if it's not covered, the 26483 could potentially be board discretionary fund. You know, where do we bucketize it? We pull it out of
Right.
that fund to cover the hardware cost, and
Yeah.
then we put in the budget the $120 yearly, and we cover that out of the kind of the operating budget.
Right. Yeah. What is it? Around $300 is going to be the one-time expense, and then the 120 will be the 120 will be the reoccurring. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I think that's going to make a very exciting opportunity for us as the Delta Club and for the amateurs in the community to be able to have that capability both on the 8.2. Let's not forget that we're adding capabilities to our powerhouse legacy flagship 8.2 repeater. We're not going to have it all the time there, but we're also adding capabilities to the DMR platform that we're adding as new capabilities. So I think that's exciting.
Yeah, and it is exciting.
All right. Just a minute. I had renewals on here as a new business. Thank you, both Jim and Mike and everyone at November and December that mentioned renewals. I appreciate you mentioning that because I was a little remiss in mentioning renewals. Hopefully our renewals are tracking well. I haven't dived into the spreadsheet that Perry sent out for membership. I would just ask everybody, if you know a member, ask them to make sure they renew, and that would help us out quite a bit. All right, I want to yield the floor right now to Adam about programming. And what I'll do is, these are all of the results that came in via the signal report for the one thing that they would like to see the club do. And then I think Adam had a survey as well. So I'm going to yield the floor. Adam, you can steal the presentation. Oops, sorry.
Where do I click to, here we go, share.
You'd be able to just steal the presentation. There you go.
Okay, everybody see that? So we got a whopping
Yes, sir.
4 responses. 100% said they're not interested in doing a presentation, but 3 out of 4 said they're interested in WinLink. They could pick more than one, so 3 out of 4 said they're interested in Arden, and then you can see the rest here. So I might do Arden later in the year, and since everybody's asking me how to do WinLink, that's going to be the main thing this month. And then I asked Phil Sherrod, he's on the WinLink development team, lives near Nashville, if he either wants to do Zoom or come out, because 100 people or 100% said they'd be interested in having a Zoom presentation occasionally. So I think that'd be cool to have some outside expertise. And then 3 out of 4 are interested in the occasional deep dive. So 1 long presentation instead of 2 short ones. And that's not going to be every meeting, but gives us the opportunity to go a little bit longer when there's something that's worth it. So that's all I had.
Okay.
I could also
Adam?
add that we could invite our Delta Division Director to make a presentation.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
I'm sure he is very receptive to coming over. We've had him a number of times.
Okay.
K5UZ.
I think that's a fantastic opportunity. I had sent out, and Adam, we can keep running that survey. It doesn't die until you tell it to die.
Right.
So if we want to try to get more responses, at the next membership meeting, we can certainly do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was going to ask if you want me to leave that in Sparks for the January Sparks.
Yeah, if you could.
Okay, we'll do.
Thank you.
Instead of Arden, what about Hamwan? Because we already have existence of Hamwan
Right.
on
Yeah.
a number of sites. So I don't know if that would be more appropriate than Arden or not.
Yeah. Or both. So.
All right. Well, Adam, thanks for putting it together. I did want to just take a second. These were all of the items that came in via the signal report that I put together for each of the members at the end of the meetings. So we kind of covered these. I don't know how we want to try to summarize these, but this was across like 14 responses in November and like 4 in December. Get more ARRL events. That could be Bring the Delta, whatever. Beginner Startup Club, a make and take, project build. So one of the other options that we could explore some of these other options with is kind of an alternate meeting activity on an alternate day or a weekend activity where we might potentially say, hey, this isn't like mandatory that you come. The membership meeting is that kind of come get your ticket, check in activity, but maybe have a socialized activity that's on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon. It's either, come make a project with us or come learn how to solder or something along those lines, where we might be able to do a little more of this kind of in a less time crunched, more hands-on way. So I'd ask everybody to kind of think about how we could support that and make that happen.
So, maybe it's instead of a make and take, it's bring all the components and we'll show you how to make it kind of thing, because I would love to do an Arduino controller for a satellite directional finder controller. That would be incredible if we had somebody that could, if we brought the Arduino and some of the components to help us put it together and, a motor controller or whatever you want to call it.
There happens to be an Arduino expert in our market. You remember?
Right.
He came and visited us last year.
Yep.
That'd be fun.
So maybe he could put, a list of stuff we can buy on eBay or Amazon or whatever, bring it to the meeting and make a project there that we could take home and use.
That would be fun. And Adam, I'm here to kind of help with that a little bit. And Tyler, I'm looking at you to kind of to help socialize that out in the membership. And all of us are kind of working on that as well. Mike, you've got some excellent ideas. That'd be a ton of fun. I hadn't really thought about doing an Arduino, but there are tons of ham-based Arduino projects that you could do.
Yes.
Out there and have a lot of fun with and learn a lot with.
Does anybody know if Glenn Papil is still local to us? I thought I had heard that he was
As far as I
moving.
know, I had not heard that. So we'd have to double check that. I had not heard that he was moving. Okay. Real quick, we talked about Winter Field Day a little bit earlier. I don't know that that's really going to be a real, like, okay, the club's getting behind it more of, hey, a bunch of club members are going to be at this location participating in Winter Field Day. I think it's going to be more along those lines, but I think it'll still be fun to kind of socialize it.
This year is probably going to be more along that, and then next year we'll bring it into a full blown that's just kind of my theory with how, again, I need to
Yeah.
make some more phone calls, but
Hey, there are some things that we, as I have an expression, we crawl, then we walk, then we run.
exactly.
All right. I'm gonna displace the budget for just a minute and leave the rest of the time for that. And did everybody have a chance to kind of look at the year at a glance planner that I'd sent out?
Mhm.
I
Proper
didn't-
credit where credit is due. I'm sorry.
You asked if we're able to look at it. I had not.
Okay. A little bit of credit goes, a lot of the credit, all of the credit goes to Mary Jean. That was something that she put together last year and sent out to some of the new guys that were on the board as a job aid to help. And it helped me all throughout the year to make sure that I didn't forget something. And I think this is an excellent aid for us to take and look at. I put that in our board meeting agenda folder out on our Google Drive so that it's there. If you think of something that, hey, this is something we do every year, let's go ahead and add it into that. And it's a great thing that will help with board transition and not membership, but position transitions to make sure that items don't get forgotten or overlooked as we move forward. Take a look at it, take a peek through it, and if you have some input on it, go ahead and edit it. It's a shareable document out there on the Google Drive. Appreciate everybody's input. All right, Jim, I'm gonna swing the floor over to you to walk us through the budget.
Sure.
I've got a copy up on the screen if you want to take a minute and kind of walk us through it.
Sure.
I know it's changed a little bit since we've talked in the meeting.
Hey, that's all right. I don't mind making a few adjustments. In fact, that's why we are looking at it here, because I would like to take any recommendations or suggestions as to whether any of these numbers need to be massaged. So left our proposed and actual amounts for 2023 and 2024, and then added the fifth column there for 2025. So some of these numbers I struggle with. Do I change them based on what we have taken in, such as our donations? We can't guarantee that we're going to receive any donations whatsoever, but we've been fortunate to have had some generous members provide us with such money. So
Yes, sir.
in 2024 we just proposed $50, or we budgeted that, but we actually took in $739. Anybody have any thoughts about whether that should change, or do we just stick with our usual amounts here?
I think we should stick with the usual amount.
I think from a donation income perspective, sticking with our usual amount is an appropriate way to proceed.
All right. And then there are some items that I removed that it just didn't make any sense anymore to keep, like we had the club patches listed there. Now I have some club patches that that are in our stash of boxes. I don't know if we want to try to sell them.
I would love to get one because I have a company that can duplicate them.
Okay. Well, I'll bring them to the next meeting.
So if we've got an actual patch, then they can that would make it easy for them to duplicate it, and we'd be able to offer them back out to the membership with a new supply. I think that would be fun.
Okay. I would love to have a like an enamel pin, something like that with the club logo on it, something like that. Or I don't know, some people may want a sticker for the back of their vehicle.
Yep. One of my coworkers has a business promotions company and does that kind of things, and she's willing to work with us and be reasonable to us. So if that's something that we want to try to do and get some bumper stickers, window stickers, pins, patches, hero patches, Velcro patches, whatever. I think that'd be a great way to get some swag out into the membership and show up. And speaking of which, I didn't mean to remember it. At some point, we probably need to order shirts again, but that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, that's like June, because I think we normally order them so that we can have them for when we go to Huntsville.
Mhm.
So can we sell those patches then? Because I'd like to have one.
How many do you have, Jim?
Probably about 20.
Yeah, put them out on the table and put a amount on them. First come, first serve. Just hold me one so I can get them duplicated, please.
They were sold for $5 a piece
Yeah.
I'll
originally.
pay the $5 to get my copy, and then I'll go get a copy.
Yeah, me
Get
too.
a copy.
I'm trying to think if it has the foundation words on it or not. But
I'd love to be able to get the foundation words on a patch, maybe a little bit bigger patch, and get the words back in the logo. I think that would be amazing. And if we do stickers, like a window sticker, to put our foundation words back in the logo.
okay, so would you like me to go ahead and
Okay.
add that line item back into the budget then for patches and swag?
What
Or
do y'all think, everyone? What do y'all think?
Yeah, if you've got 20 of them and you're going to sell them, you just will have a line item.
okay, all right, I'll put it back in. And I'll
One thing that we do need to do is get Mary Jean her president's jacket.
Yes, sir.
Probably
We'll
need
take
to-
that. We'll take that out of board discretionary. That's my opinion, but the rest of you, I don't want to speak for the rest of you. I think that'd be a perfect place for board discretionary.
Does Steve Frazier get a jacket when he retired?
Yes, he did.
Okay, all right.
He only had 3 years for the dates, but he said he didn't want to get the 4th one put on it. I asked him.
Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and add that line item back in for swag. So for our membership, we've always had $2,000 listed there as proposed, but we actually took in a sizable amount, 2570 in 2024. That's nice to see that grow from the 1640 the previous year. So hopefully we can continue that trend.
Yeah, that's a good budgetary number, I think.
I would very much love to see our membership grow this year. We're gonna be down a handful of members, so I'm hopeful that we can all find a couple of members that'll come back or renew back, so that we can get back up and replenish that. I think that's a good number.
And also for the membership, I've had a number of people actually comment that we haven't had an increase in membership fees in quite a while. And I don't know if we want to at some point talk about that as to whether we need to increase it and to cover, help defray some of our expenses for maintaining the repeaters, because we may need additional work done.
And now we have monthly internet, so that's really not a bad thought.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't want to
think
just
20
start the new year with that topic. Go ahead.
yeah, $20 was what I paid when I joined the club in '95.
We had $30 until Bill Stevens recommended reducing it down to 20. About 2009, 2010, it went from 30 down to 20. So that's somewhat of the history of the dues.
And I wouldn't
think
be opposed to, I think maybe we could even talk about, sort of like a student rate, up to a certain age, and then, another amount for, the general population, and then maybe a reduced amount for seniors.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Most professional societies have ARL does that, I think, right?
Yeah, but it's not a reduced rate for seniors. It's a reduced rate for life members to get life if you have 20 years of paying for QST.
Gotcha.
And then it was like $750.
Well, do you want to put that as an action item on our annual planner to discuss that maybe in October? And then, we might could do something, but because we've had probably.
I'd say we probably want to bring it a little forward more than October. But yes, I think that's something we definitely should address. Thanks, Jim, for bringing that up. I don't know what the magic number is going to end up, but I do like the tiered approach a little bit more. I think that is an excellent observation that we were going to have to address.
I mean,
So,
I
go ahead.
do in an extra $20 at my renewal. That's where the 20 came from. It's not a big amount to. I mean, some people always go, "What? $25, $30." So maybe a plan, a couple gradual increases. I don't know,
Yeah, very good point.
but I'm all for paying more, and I will.
It'll help close a little bit of the gap that we're looking at on the budget. All right, Jim, walk us through the next section, please.
All right, so state sale, we only brought in $783 this month or this year, as opposed to the nearly 6,000 the previous year. Now, mind you, we did, all the good stuff is gone. So, I don't know if we want to keep that $1,500 proposed amount.
I'd put it down to 750.
Okay.
I'm hoping we could possibly get 750.
Okay.
That's one of those things where if you have a lot in your estate sale, that means we have some silent keys, and that's
Yeah.
I wish no one ill.
I've stressed that to my family to reach out to you guys if something ever happened to me, because I don't want them just throwing it in the garbage.
Yeah.
All right. We have nothing here for advertisement. Huntsville, we have I'll leave that at $2,500. Although we only took in a little over $2,200. And fortunately we had that we had the $200 plus the $1,200 donation that took care of the additional amount there and actually put us in the positive for the Huntsville trip. So then taking us down to the actual expenses, we've got the annual report to the state of Tennessee. That's only $20.95. But come 2026, I just want to point out that there may be an additional fee there with the change of names that will go into to the annual report. Because anytime we change, like, board of director name, well, actually, I think it might just be just my name. So whoever is in charge of the treasury, that there is a fee for that.
Is that fee? How much is that fee?
I want to say it was like $30 or something like that.
So why don't we just call
I
the
didn't
Tennessee annual report like $50? And some years we'll use it all and some years we won't.
Okay. Yeah, as you can see in the past, we had $120 listed there, but then come COVID, the state eliminated some of the fees, surprisingly. So that's why it's only $20 plus a service fee to use a check or e-check. Okay. So everybody's good with $50 for annual report fee, and we may use it, we may not.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yep.
Okay, meeting space donation. We've pretty consistently had $300 there. Do we possibly, or do we want to entertain any changes to that?
Do we anticipate going back to Ellendale this year, or are we going to remain at Mid-America?
I don't know the answer to that. I have not had a chance to reach out to Ellendale. I don't have their contact. Joe, do you have any input on that?
I haven't reached out. I'll reach out to Mike and see what he has to say. I doubt if they've gotten the upstairs refitted yet. And if we're going to do testing, we need the upstairs for testing. I wouldn't want to do testing down on the main floor and have people keep, coming in and just, and
Understood.
disturbing the people that are taking the test.
So where I was going with that is if we were going to move back to Ellendale, that maybe we should up that to like the 500 to make sure that we take care of Mid-America and Ellendale. So I don't, if we want to go 500 on that, and with the anticipation that might occur, and if we don't spend it, then we just have an excess.
Why don't we go
I'm not
400?
opposed to that.
I'm okay
I was
with
going to say, let's
400.
do 400.
I
I was going to say, let's do 400. That was what I was thinking. But I'm also
Okay.
anticipating that regardless, all 400 of that would go to the seminary if we don't move back to Ellendale.
Yeah, that's a
'Cause
great plan.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
they're
with that.
absolutely worth a $400 donation.
Absolutely.
All right, I would agree with that as well. All right, we actually didn't have any training expenses this year. I think Joe must have a good amount of training materials or supplies available that covered us for this year. But I'll go ahead and leave in $50 for this coming year.
Yeah.
Do you have any copy expenses
No
or
objections.
printing or anything?
Yeah.
All right, meeting refreshments. I left it at $800, even though we only spent $579.19. Thank you, Scott. I anticipate that, there could be, price hikes on groceries but at the same time.
Does that include the
hopefully-
hams in December?
No,
No.
it's located down further down the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, the next one.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so typically we budget $100 for that and for the hams, and we only spent a little over 50.
We've got some very good shoppers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can figure out how we can avoid or not avoid, how we can leverage our tax exempt status to not pay taxes on our refreshments.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that. All right, door prizes. I left that at $500. I think that's a adequate amount.
The one thing I'd mention about that is, do we want to put a separate line item here for our Free Fest donation?
We do have that's the last item there. There's a free fest.
I missed it. Thank you. I overlooked it. My
Yeah, so
apologies.
typically that's 200. Joe did a nice job of wheeling and dealing and got the battery that we normally donate for 170. But that's not a guarantee, so I left that at 200. And going back up to our PO box, that has consistently gone up each year by 10 or 20 bucks. So this year we paid $342. We budgeted $332. And I tacked on another $10 for this year to make that $352.
Yeah, that's great.
Kind of a big expense for just a hole in the wall.
But it's so important. It's important to have that
Yeah, it is.
address, that PO
Yeah.
box.
You're paying
Yep.
for their friendly service.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
And their timely deliveries. All right.
All right, move
Untimely
right along.
deliveries.
Move right along.
All right. So our club equipment insurance, that's pretty static. It's been 235.48 for as long as I've been paying it. And the club liability insurance at 200, that has not wavered as well. I'd like to change the repeater system upgrades title to repeater system maintenance, perhaps.
Right. I was going to ask you
maintenance.
because the repeater that we did, the repeater work that we did this year was member approved allocations. So we may want to put because any member approved allocation is going to be a pure expense. Because it's typically if we don't think ahead of time and put it in the budget, we have to ask the members to approve it. So that's why I was going to say we would track that as member approved allocations. And then the repeater system upgrades or repair budget that you were talking about, Jim, can be, $1,500.
So how many more sites do we have to go visit and figure out what the equipment is like?
I
At all of them.
I have not been to Germantown. I've got pictures of it, and I have not been to University of Memphis.
One
does
thing
this
you're gonna
$1,000
need,
seem?
one thing
Sorry, go ahead.
with the DMR repeater, that the equipment insurance is gonna go up.
Yeah, let's tack 20% on top of that because that equipment isn't on that, Jim.
Yeah, that's true.
Good call, Joe. Thank you.
Yep.
So Dan, what are you
I
think
wanna-
1,000 is going to be enough, or do we want to continue with going back to the membership and asking them for the money?
Sorry, which line are we looking at?
It's
The repeater system.
upgrades. Yeah, 1,000.
Upgrades.
So the question is, do we want, how much of a budget do you think you need to do maintenance that we shouldn't have, that we just are going to do, that we have to do? And how much do you think we would say, okay, wait a minute, that's not some urgent maintenance that we need to do. We just should ask the membership for.
I think $1,000 should cover things like I got to replace an antenna, or I need a couple new cables. Even the controllers are not that expensive.
So that
Like-
you consider that to be standard maintenance. So any improvements that we're going to make, we're going to have to go to the membership and request monies for an improvement then.
Yeah, I don't foresee massive expense this year. Well, we did our one big shot. I would like to add I'll be purchasing some gear for the 8.2, and that'll be about 200 to 300.
Let's leave it at 1,000.
Yeah.
Is,
We can always ask.
is the two
I'm good with that.
completely gone, or
I'm sorry, you cut
the
out what?
220 antenna? Are we going to have to replace that this year?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We think we can reconnectorize the ends of the coax that's up there, Tyler. And one of the other things that I was going to ask Ham about, Ham has 350 feet of half-inch, did he say heliax or, anyway, he
Yeah.
had 350 feet of heliax. And that's what's up at Methodist North. So worst case, we ask Ham for, and the coax runs at Methodist North aren't very long. They're about 30 feet. I didn't mean to speak for you, Dan.
Yeah.
I've got some 7/8 heliac that I'd give for that if you would want that.
Okay,
Got like 100 foot,
I'll
but it
speak for
don't have
Dan.
connectors on it.
How many feet?
About 100 foot, no connectors.
Okay.
The only thing,
We actually have somewhere that could come in handy. But anyway, I don't want to speak for Dan.
yeah, and I don't know if it's long enough for what we need, but and also I still need if we do a replacement of a section at Methodist North, I don't know that we can cram a 7/8 through the hole by the ventilation like we can a half
Gotcha.
inch. I don't know. Maybe
But
fine.
the 7/8 would be great at the 443 site to go from where it is to where it needs to be. I don't know if 100 feet will get it there though.
I might have a little bit more depending on how much you need.
Okay, we'll have to see. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm very conscious that it's now 8 o'clock and we've all been doing this for 90 minutes. I want to be very conscious of that. Let's kind of plow through the last little items.
Okay, so I'm going to leave the repeater system maintenance. I'll change that title. I'll leave that at $1,000. Any additional repeater equipment, whether it's net new or replacement, we'll address that as that comes up. Is that what we agreed on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Southeastern Repeater Association membership. We did not have to pay this year because last year we paid for 2 years. So we will go back to the $35 a year, or that's what it will end up coming to even if we pay for 2 years this coming year. I'm not sure if that was a requirement when that came up, but I think actually Barry McDonald took care of that last year, and then I reimbursed him for those 2 years. Field day, we only had $187 in expenses there, but I'll leave that at $250 to give us a little wiggle room.
I think we're going to need a little more money this year. I'm not sure all 3 clubs are going to participate this year.
Okay. Do we think that $250 is going to be enough then?
For now.
Okay.
I don't want to start adding a bunch of money to a bunch of the line items, but we'll have to see.
All right. Our discretionary fund, we only spent $695 of our $1,000, so I'll leave that at 1,000. The Huntsville trip, that's pretty much in line with the 3,000. That kind of goes up and down in each year depending on what. Well, actually, do we want to? I guess the cost of the bus fare went up a little bit. Is that correct, Joe?
Yes, it went up to
Let's
almost
bump that up
2,500.
a little bit.
Okay. So I go to like 3,250, 3,500,
33.
33. Okay. Make that change here. My copy here. And then we're back to the Free Fest donation. So and we already adjust that. So that's all looking pretty good. Anybody have any other recommendations or have any thoughts about anything jumping out at anybody?
I don't think so. Are you comfortable presenting this at the membership meeting as our proposed budget?
Absolutely.
Very good.
What I'll do is I'll make these changes. I'll send this out to the distribution and make sure that I've caught everything here. I've got a couple of numbers to change and titles.
Okay.
So
and I think it goes in, I believe it goes in Sparks, and then we discuss it at the membership. So it's pretty easy.
Yeah. But I think
Okay.
I think looking at you're looking at the cadence of when things are submitted. I think it was February it goes in Sparks. It's not this month. Is that correct?
I'm double checking now.
Yeah, because you have, yeah, okay, the. Board of
Yeah,
Directors
you're
annual
correct.
Reminder list shows.
It goes
public-
into Sparks in February.
February, yeah, and then I'll present it at the club meeting in February.
Okay, very good.
All right.
All right, any other open discussion around the budget? Jim, thanks for putting that together.
Oh, my pleasure.
I would like to ask one small thing. Would it be possible for us to have this as a running sheet presented in the treasurer's report as to how what each budget expense has against it each month?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. I think that would be helpful for us to know where we are in our budget each month. Any objections to that? All right.
I like it.
Thank you, Jim.
Pleasure.
Go ahead.
All right, that's my pleasure. I'm happy to do it.
All right. One last parting thing, and then we'll do a quick roll call to close and try to get us out of here so we can do late check-ins if you're interested. Barry, we all know that Barry McDonald has passed. His service is January 17th. Visitations at 10, service at 11, and it's at, don't give me, I'm not going to say because I'm not sure. I think it's First Baptist, but not gonna, anyway, it's been circulated in email. The question that I have for the board is what, as a board, would we like to do for Deborah? Do we want to do a contribution somewhere that was a favorite spot for Barry? I'd like to do something for Barry in recognition of the service that he has given to the club, that he gave to the club. But I'm open to ideas. So
I recommend a donation to ARRL in his memory. We knew him through ham radio, so.
I'm not opposed to that. I was like I said, I was asking for recommendations. Any other observations?
Either $50 or $50 donation.
I think 100 is what I was thinking, just because Barry gave us 6 years of service dealing with and managing and serving our community, managing those repeaters for us.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. We can present that. I don't know if his wife will be there next week, but we can certainly make sure that she knows that we're contributing to the ARRL in Barry's name.
I'm sorry. I've got a sick wife. I had to go take care of her for a second. So I
You're
had
totally fine, Mike.
one last question. I don't know can we go back to, did we vote on the budget or is it still? So the one question, I don't see the line item in here for the GoDaddy. Where is that at, Jim?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's
Excellent
part of
call.
the board discretionary fund.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's in there. Also, here, let me bring up my list here of expenses. Okay, so under discretion.
What I would suggest is if we've got a dedicated expense like that, we'll go ahead and call it out as a line item so we know there and we truly have that as a discretionary. That's just my observation.
Hey, I'm fine with that. So okay, I'll add a line item for that. I'll add a line item for the Zoom annual subscription.
Okay, good call.
I will not add one for legal services, but that was also listed that was added to the discretionary amount. So that's where the $695 came from. All right, so I'll split that out for our purposes.
Thank you.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you.
Is the 120 for the hotspot, is it gonna be its own line or are we gonna lump it in with something else?
I
I believe we discussed carrying it. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
I was gonna say I thought we were going to go ahead and add that as a special line item.
Yeah, cool. That's what I thought. Thank you.
So it'll be the $419 or whatever it was, for the first year. And then we'll drop it down to a proposed $120 each year.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
perfect.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, and just to close that, everybody okay and approve $100 donation to A Oil for in memory of Barry?
Yes, I'm good with that. Do you need a motion?
Yeah, it'd be good just to close it and make it.
Yeah. I make a motion that we donate $100 to ARL and Barry McDonald's memory. W5CJ.
Yep.
Made by Mike, seconded by Joe. All in favor, say aye.
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 And we can do it on the website.
Will they take an ACH or do we need to do a credit card?
I know they'll take a credit card. I don't know if they'll do an
Okay.
ACH or not.
Okay. Let me know, Joe, where that is, and we'll take care of. We'll get it taken care of one way or the other.
Okay.
I don't remember where that is, and I'll post it up and then get reimbursed. All right, real quick, does anybody want to make any additional reports? I know Scott, you've been quiet. You don't have one, but I mean, I don't want to skip anybody. I want everybody to have an opportunity to make a report. But I also know we're 15 minutes over, and I appreciate that, and I'm trying to be very conscious of our time.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Tyler.
Training, and if I heard anything from training.
I was going to give Joe
Training.
the last word. Go ahead,
You
Joe.
want me to go ahead?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Currently, the extra class is in session. It'll go until the 15th of February on Saturdays via Zoom. I'm planning to have a tech class start on the 24th of February for 6 Monday nights via Zoom, going through April the 7th, excluding March the 10th. And that's it for right now.
Thank you. That's awesome. I'm going to let everybody in the Guard know that because so many people want to take that. So thank you for offering that via Zoom.
Okay.
Are you on the tech class? Are you full or you got openings?
What do you mean full on the tech class?
I don't know if you have a limit or not.
About 15, 18 people is what I normally try to go.
Okay. I'm at the moment, the Facebook guy. So if
okay.
I can post it. If you send me the info, I can post it.
Okay. I'll be glad to.
Trying to get a post out
Dan?
every 2 or 3 days.
Dan's our acting PIO, and Adam can post as well.
Yep.
Working through getting all that taken care of. All right. The only one that hasn't really had any opportunity is Tyler and Perry. Y'all want to have anything?
I have nothing new. I'll be pending weather. I'll be in Atlanta next week with the Army on some suicide prevention training. So I won't be there. But again, Adam, I'll try and send you either a text or call tonight or tomorrow so we can kind of discuss field day or winter field day. But other than that, y'all, thanks for being here and being on the board with us.
Thanks, Tyler. All right. I'd love for everybody to ask a member to join. And with that, I would actually love to entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Made by Mike, seconded by
I'll second it.
Jim
Or Jim.
or Tyler.
All right.
All right. Motion made to adjourn, seconded by either Jim or Tyler. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate your service. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and see you next week at the membership meeting. Take care.
Very good. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.